Hey there, night owls and restless sleepers. Have you ever jolted awake at 3 a.m., feeling a mix of confusion, anxiety, and maybe even a little fear? Well, you're not alone. Tons of people experience this mysterious phenomenon, and today we're going to dive deep into what it means, what you can do about it, and how an ancient Buddhist prayer might just change your life. Stick around, cause this is going to be one heck of a spiritual journey. So, picture this, it's the dead of night, everything's quiet, and suddenly bam! You're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering what on earth is going on. Sound familiar? Well, buckle up, cause we're about to unpack this whole 3 a.m. wake-up call thing and explore a powerful Buddhist teaching that could turn your restless nights into moments of profound spiritual awakening. Now, before we jump into the nitty-gritty, let's get one thing straight: waking up at 3 a.m. isn't always a bad thing. In fact, many cultures and spiritual traditions see this time as super special. It's often called the witching hour or the spiritual hour, and for good reason. But we'll get to that in a bit. First things first, why the heck are you waking up at 3 a.m. anyway? Well, there could be a bunch of reasons. Maybe you're stressed about work, relationship drama, or that embarrassing thing you said at a party 5 years ago. We've all been there, trust me. Or it could be something more physical, like that extra large pepperoni pizza you demolished right before bed. No judgment here, folks. But here's where it gets really interesting. In Buddhist teachings, waking up at 3 a.m. is often seen as a spiritual wake-up call. It's like the universe is tapping you on the shoulder, saying, "Hey buddy, time to pay attention." And let me tell you, when the universe talks, it's probably a good idea to listen. So, what's the deal with this magical 3 a.m. hour? In Buddhist tradition, it's believed that this is when the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its thinnest. It's like nature's version of happy hour for your soul. This is when your mind is most receptive to spiritual insights, and when you're most likely to receive important messages from the universe. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's all well and good, but what am I supposed to do when I'm wide awake at 3 a.m. and have a big meeting in the morning? Don't worry, I've got you covered. We're going to talk about a powerful Buddhist prayer that you can use during these nocturnal adventures. But before we get to that, let's dig a little deeper into why this 3 a.m. wake-up call might be happening. In Buddhist philosophy, everything happens for a reason. There are no coincidences, only opportunities for growth and enlightenment. So if you're consistently waking up at 3 a.m., it might be time to do a little soul searching. Are there unresolved issues in your life that need attention? Are you ignoring your intuition or spiritual needs? Or maybe the universe is trying to tell you something important, but you've been too busy during the day to listen. Here's a wild thought: what if these 3 a.m. wake-ups are actually a gift? I know, it doesn't feel like a gift when you're tossing and turning, watching the minutes tick by. But hear me out. In our busy, noisy world, it's rare to find moments of true quiet and stillness. These middle-of-the-night wake-ups could be your chance to tap into a deeper level of consciousness and connect with your inner wisdom. Now, let's talk about what you can actually do when you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m. First off, don't panic. Easier said than done, I know, but getting all worked up about being awake is only going to make it harder to fall back asleep. Instead, try to shift your perspective. Instead of thinking, "Oh no, I'm awake," try thinking, "Oh cool, I've got some bonus me time." One of the most powerful things you can do during these nocturnal adventures is to practice mindfulness. This is a core concept in Buddhist teachings, and it's all about being fully present in the moment. So instead of worrying about tomorrow's to-do list or rehashing yesterday's drama, focus on your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, the coolness of the air as you inhale, the warmth as you exhale. This simple practice can help calm your mind and bring you back to the present moment. But here's where it gets really exciting: the Buddhist prayer we've been hinting at. This isn't just any old prayer, folks. It's a powerful tool for transformation and spiritual growth. Are you ready for it? Drum roll, please. The prayer goes like this: "May all beings be happy and free from suffering." I know, it might seem too simple at first glance. But trust me, there's a whole lot of spiritual oomph packed into those few words. Let's break it down, shall we? First off, may all beings, this includes everyone and everything. Not just your family and friends, not just humans, but all living creatures. It's about cultivating a sense of universal compassion and interconnectedness. When you say this part of the prayer, try to really feel that connection to all life. Next, be happy. This isn't just about surface-level happiness, like getting a new gadget or winning a game. We're talking deep, lasting happiness that comes from within. It's about wishing for true contentment and joy for all beings. And finally, free from suffering. In Buddhist philosophy, Suffering, or dukkha in Sanskrit, is a universal experience. It's not just about physical pain, but also mental and emotional distress. When you say this part of the prayer, you're wishing for all beings to be free from all forms of suffering. Now, here's the real kicker when you say this prayer at 3 a.m. You're not just sending out good vibes to the world, although that's awesome too. You're also working on your own spiritual growth. By focusing on compassion and kindness for all beings, you're shifting your mindset away from your own worries and anxieties. It's like a spiritual reset button for your brain. So, how exactly do you use this prayer when you wake up at 3 a.m.? Well, it's pretty straightforward, but don't let its simplicity fool you. Start by getting comfortable. You can stay in bed, sit up, or even find a cozy spot to meditate if you're feeling extra awake. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself, then slowly and mindfully recite the prayer. May all beings be happy and free from suffering. As you say each word, really try to feel the meaning behind it. Visualize waves of compassion and kindness radiating out from you, touching all beings everywhere. You can repeat the prayer as many times as you like, letting the words sink deeper into your consciousness with each repetition. Now, here's where the magic happens. As you focus on this prayer and the intention behind it, you might start to notice some changes. Your own worries and anxieties might start to fade into the background. You might feel a sense of peace and connection to something larger than yourself. And who knows, you might even drift off into a peaceful sleep. But even if you don't fall back asleep right away, that's okay. Remember, this 3 a.m. wake-up call is an opportunity, not a problem to be solved. Use this time to continue your spiritual practice, whether that's through more meditation, journaling, or simply lying quietly and observing your thoughts. Now, I can already hear some of you skeptics out there. Come on, you might be thinking, how can saying a few words at 3 a.m. really make a difference? Well, let me tell you, the power of this practice isn't just in the words themselves. It's in the intention behind them and the shift in perspective they create. When you wake up at 3 a.m. feeling anxious or stressed, you're often caught in a cycle of negative thoughts. You're worrying about the future, rehashing the past, or just feeling frustrated about being awake. But when you shift your focus to this prayer and the intention of compassion for all beings, you're breaking that cycle. You're training your mind to focus on something positive and expansive, rather than getting stuck in your own worries. Plus, there's some pretty cool science backing up the benefits of compassion-focused meditation. Studies have shown that practices like this can reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and even boost your immune system. So not only are you potentially improving your sleep, but you're also giving your overall health a little boost too. Not bad for a middle-of-the-night spiritual practice, huh? But here's the thing, this isn't just about those 3 a.m. wake-ups. The real power of this practice comes when you start incorporating it into your daily life. Try saying this prayer when you wake up in the morning, before meals, or whenever you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. You might be surprised at how it starts to shift your perspective and interactions with others. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm not Buddhist. Can I still use this prayer? Absolutely. The beauty of this practice is that it's universal. You don't have to be Buddhist, or even religious at all, to benefit from cultivating compassion and kindness. Think of it less as a religious prayer, and more as a powerful intention-setting tool. Of course, if you do have your own spiritual or religious tradition, feel free to adapt this practice to fit your beliefs. The core intention of wishing happiness and freedom from suffering for all beings is something that resonates across many different faiths and philosophies. Now, let's talk about some other things you can do to make the most of these 3 a.m. wake-ups. First off, create a calming environment in your bedroom. Keep the lights low, maybe use some soothing essential oils like lavender, and consider keeping a journal by your bed to jot down any insights or thoughts that come up during your practice. It's also a good idea to limit screen time before bed, and especially if you wake up in the middle of the night. The blue light from phones and tablets can mess with your circadian rhythm and make it harder to fall back asleep. Plus, scrolling through social media at 3 a.m. is pretty much guaranteed to amp up your anxiety rather than calm it down. Instead, try keeping some inspiring Buddhist texts or other spiritual readings by your bed. If you're not feeling sleepy after your prayer practice, reading something uplifting can be a great way to pass the time and continue your spiritual exploration. Another powerful practice you can incorporate is gratitude. After you've said your prayer, take a few moments to think about things you're grateful for. It could be big things like your health or your relationships, or small things like the comfort of your warm bed or the peace and quiet of the night. Focusing on gratitude can help shift your mindset from stress and anxiety to appreciation and contentment. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What if you try all this and you still can't fall back asleep? First off, don't stress about it. Remember, the goal here isn't necessarily to fall asleep, although that's a nice bonus if it happens. The goal is to use this time for spiritual growth and self-reflection. If you're still wide awake after your prayer practice, consider getting up and doing some gentle yoga or stretching. Physical movement can help release tension in your body and calm your mind. Just keep it gentle and relaxing. Now's not the time for an intense workout. You could also try some breathing exercises. One simple but effective technique is the 4-7-8 breath. Here's how it works. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, then exhale completely through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat this cycle a few times and see how you feel. Another option is to use this time for creative pursuits. Keep a notebook handy and jot down any ideas or inspirations that come to you. Many artists and writers find that the quiet hours of the night are when their creativity really flows. Who knows? Your 3 a.m. wake-up call could lead to your next great masterpiece. Now, let's talk about consistency. Like any spiritual practice, the real benefits come with regular repetition. So even if you don't wake up at 3 a.m. every night, and let's be honest, for the sake of your sleep schedule, that's probably a good thing. Try to incorporate this prayer into your daily routine. You could say it first thing in the morning, setting a positive intention for your day. Or use it as a midday reset when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. You could even make it part of your bedtime routine, helping you wind down and shift into a more peaceful state of mind before sleep. The key is to make it a habit. The more you practice cultivating compassion and kindness through this prayer, the more natural it will become. You might start to notice changes in how you interact with others, how you handle stress, and even how you view yourself. And here's a cool thing to try: start paying attention to what happens after you say this prayer. Do you notice any changes in your mood, in your interactions with others, in how you handle challenges? Keeping track of these changes can be really motivating and help you see the tangible benefits of your practice. Now, I know we've been focusing a lot on the spiritual aspects of these 3 a.m. wake-ups, but let's not forget about the practical side of things. If you're consistently waking up at this time, it might be worth looking at your sleep habits and environment. Are you going to bed at a consistent time each night? Is your bedroom dark, quiet, and at a comfortable temperature? Are you avoiding caffeine and heavy meals close to bedtime? These might seem like small things, but they can make a big difference in your sleep quality. It's also worth considering if there might be any underlying health issues causing your wake-ups. Things like sleep apnea, hormonal imbalances, or certain medications can disrupt your sleep cycle. If you're concerned, it's always a good idea to chat with your doctor. But even as you address these practical aspects, try to maintain that sense of openness and curiosity about your 3 a.m. experiences. Remember, in Buddhist philosophy, everything is an opportunity for growth and learning. So instead of seeing these wake-ups as a problem to be solved, try to approach them with a sense of wonder and possibility. As we start to wrap up this spiritual journey, let's recap the main points. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't necessarily a bad thing. It could be a spiritual wake-up call, a chance to connect with your inner wisdom and the wider universe. The Buddhist prayer, "May all beings be happy and free from suffering," is a powerful tool for shifting your mindset and cultivating compassion, both for yourself and others. Remember, the key is to approach these experiences with openness and curiosity. Don't stress if you can't fall back asleep right away. Instead, use the time for prayer, meditation, or gentle reflection. And most importantly, try to carry the spirit of this practice into your daily life. So, the next time you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., instead of tossing and turning or reaching for your phone, why not give this prayer a try? You might just find that these middle-of-the-night wake-ups become less of a nuisance and more of a sacred time for spiritual growth and self-discovery. And who knows, you might start looking forward to these nocturnal adventures. After all, there's something pretty special about the quiet of the night, when the rest of the world is asleep and you have this intimate moment with yourself and the universe. In conclusion, those 3 a.m. wake-ups might just be the universe's way of giving you a little nudge, a reminder to slow down, tune in, and connect with something larger than yourself. So embrace it, explore it, and see where this spiritual journey takes you. Who knows? Your next 3 a.m. wake-up call could be the start of a profound spiritual transformation. Remember, in the grand scheme of things, a little lost sleep is a small price to pay for spiritual growth and a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you.